discrete software football Excel helper. A few more buttons we'll talk about. Let's say our play resulted in a result code that gave us a play and a penalty after the fact. This button here, say the play gained 1 yard and there's a defensive 15, so after clicking the gain of 1 to move the ball in the field, you'd come over here, click this button to load up the macro about recording the type of play it was. Macro form comes up asking if it's an offensive team penalty. Let's say it was a defensive 15. We'll say no. Comes up. It'll ask you to input the yards, etc. If you're only going to record the penalty, say a false start, or the play occurred, and you want to accept the penalty like holding or something, and you would click that button instead. Once the game's over, here's a macro button to finalize out the play log. This button would take you to the box score. Any play resulting in a touchdown from scrimmage, you would click this to update the play log, to credit the proper scoring. Likewise for if there's a safety that occurs. And here's one to restart the whole game and erase all the stats. This macro button here, during the course of the game, if you want to change how the AI is going to emphasize who to key, which running backs, quarterbacks, etc. to key on, you would run this macro button. Likewise, on the other side of the defensive positioning field, if you want to change the emphasis of who the AI will try and double team, which wide receiver, run that macro button. Likewise, these macro buttons up here, visitor and home, is changing the fatigue factor levels, 0, 1, 2, etc. This one's for the visitors, running backs. Take you to a screen that would show all the running backs, whether or not you wanted to change their ratings. Doesn't work so well when I change sheets, does it? So that was for the runner, that's for the quarterbacks, that's for the receivers. Over here, if you need to make substitutions, click that button to take you to the roster screen. Click this button if an injury occurs. This screen, this was the defensive coach's emphasis. There was a key applied to the offensive play. In this case, it was a run key, defensive play O. Now these two are old code buttons before I put in macro checks whether or not the defense was playing in their proper default 4-3 or 5-2. Those are the only two defensive formations I've coded. This is originally started out strictly for my college teams, which either play a 5-2 or 4-3. I envision eventually getting to and putting in a 3-4 at least. So that should give you a good overview of all the different fields on the field screen worksheet, and essentially how to make the utility look up the players for you to ultimately look up the results and then process the results. So it's basically make sure you're in the formation that you want to be, pro set or shotgun currently. Either change the play number if you print out the play numbers here, or bring up the user form. Let's run a fullback and run. Once you've got that, click the hike button for the AI to look up all the matchups, dice rolls, and results for you other than the result code on the winning matchup play card. Halfback, Nowatzki, his X rating. Well, the X rating is a specialized rating whereby you take the result of the 2d6 added together, in this case 4. So we would have had a 4-yard run. Pan over, move the ball 4 yards. We'll have to do it as a gain 1 and a gain 3. So we have 2nd and 6. Time will have been ticked off. We're ready to go back. Decide which offensive play we're going to run. Go down. Choose a split end slant. Hike it. Unitas on the quarterback. We'll look up Johnny Unitas D on a dice roll of 12. If we need variable yardage, we'll use the 9 or a 5, depending on what kind of variable yardage is needed. If it was an incomplete pass, we would tell the play log that via clicking this incomplete button. There won't be interceptions on Johnny Unitas' card, so we won't have to worry about trying to run the interception. Anyways, I hope you find this useful and enjoy the many facets of detail that this game has to offer you. Thanks.